She smirked at me like she always had, sharp, polished, confident in her place above me. "What's a poor welder's wife doing here?" she whispered, lifting her champagne glass as if to toast my humiliation. But it wasn't her voice that cut through the gala's music. It was the sound of her husband choking on his own breath the moment he saw me. His face drained of color. His hand trembled around the crystal flute. And for the first time in years, I felt the slow bloom of justice rising in my chest. Because my husband's true identity was the one thing he never wanted exposed. Not to her, not to this room, not to anyone who believed money made them untouchable. I used to envy my sister, her silk-lined world, her effortless charm, her ability to win our parents' approval with a single smile. I had love, she had status, and in my family, status always won. When I married Daniel, my quiet, grease-smudged welder with rough hands and a gentle heart, they cut me out like I was a stain on their white carpet. "You're throwing your life away," my mother said. My father didn't bother with words, just the final thud of the door closing. I thought the pain would fade, but pain rarely fades. It buries itself until someone digs it up. For me, that someone was my sister. It started subtly. Strange calls Daniel took outside. Messages he deleted a little too quickly. Late nights explained with vague shrugs. At first, I told myself I was imagining things, that I was just tired, that marriage was ebb and flow. Then I found the email. One line, one truth, enough to shatter everything. Transfer confirmed. No paper trail. My heart stopped. The sender was my sister's husband, Elias Hale, the man who owned half the companies in this city. I didn't confront Daniel, not then. Emotion is messy. Revenge requires clarity. So I held my breath, and I watched. Patterns emerged. Money moved. Meetings were arranged off the books. A secret partnership, one designed to cut Elias out, strip him of control, and leave him exposed in the one place he worshipped, the boardroom. And Daniel, my sweet, quiet welder, was at the center of it. That was the moment I shifted. No tears, no begging, just a realization. I wasn't the fool. They were. Because Daniel wasn't just a welder. He never had been. I began planning in silence. I tracked the transfers. I documented the meetings. I collected every scrap of evidence, enough to burn 2 empires, not just one. Then I went further. I hired a private auditor, a legal strategist, an investigator who specialized in white-collar predators. Piece by piece, I built a case so airtight it could suffocate. When I finally confronted Daniel, he didn't deny it. He didn't panic. He simply exhaled, eyes steady. "It's time you knew," he said. Not an apology, a revelation. He told me everything. His hidden ownership in multiple companies, his strategic dismantling of Elias's financial stronghold, and the real reason he lived as a welder. "Power is quiet," he said. "Status makes noise. Noise attracts people like your family." In that moment, I realized he hadn't married beneath me. I had married above every single one of them, and they had disowned me for it. The night of the gala was timed perfectly. The board was present. Investors were present. My sister, my lifelong rival, was present. And I had already delivered the final package. Every illegal transfer Elias had made. Every attempt to funnel assets to offshore accounts. Every betrayal he believed no one would ever uncover. All displayed neatly in a confidential report delivered to the board moments before we walked in. So when Elias saw me, saw her sister, the one he mocked by proxy, the one he helped cast out, standing beside the man who masterminded his downfall, he knew. And the fear on his face tasted better than champagne. What are you doing here?" he stammered. I stepped closer, lowering my voice so only he could hear. "Cleaning up what you left behind." My sister's smirk faltered when she saw his expression. She turned to him confused. He backed away as if I were holding a knife to his throat. In a way, I was. Within the hour, he'd be stripped of his position, his accounts frozen, his partners notified, his reputation shredded, and my sister, always so pristine, would finally know what it felt like to fall. As the music swelled again and whispers curled through the air, I walked past her without looking back. I wasn't the poor welder's wife. I was the woman they should never have underestimated. Daniel slipped his hand into mine. Warm, steady, a quiet king in a world obsessed with crowns. I let out the breath I'd been holding for years. "Ready?" he murmured. "More than ever," I said. And as we left the gala behind, I didn't feel revenge. I felt reborn.